Today, we're at a really cool place in western Arkansas called Mena Lake. It's on the eastern part of Mena, Arkansas, and about an hour west of Hot Springs. It's a tiny little lake. Some would even confuse it as a pond. As you can see, this is the dirt boat ramp leading into the lake. And let me tell you, at the first time I came here, I was like, didn't really know what to think. But I'm telling you guys, this place is special. It has a nice population of bass, and it has one of my favorite vegetations, and that's lily pads. And the fish are in them, and I can't wait to go out there and throw a big old pad perch and try to catch one of those big old bass. Today on Mena Lake, we're dealing with a really tough condition. I know you hear me say that a lot, but let's be honest, guys, not every day is rainbows and lollipops out here on the lake. But today, we're dealing with a high pressure system and little to no wind, and we're in the middle of summer. And that can be a recipe for disaster. But today, I'm gonna show you how to divert that disaster and show you how to catch some fish here on Mena, and maybe a few big ones. And today we're gonna be up in that stuff, up in those pads, and trying to catch them on a pad perch, one of my favorite baits by Strike King. Gosh, I can't wait to get out there. Let's go see what they're all about. That's a little one. I want one of them that like just go up there and like that. There we go. There we go, guys. Oh man, I mean, came over there and clobbered that thing. Welcome to Mena Lake. And look at the size of this fish. Can't tell me he didn't want that pad perch right there. Fishing lily pads in the summertime, you cannot beat it. Oh, come here, baby. Oh, come here. Oh, check that out. You can't tell me he did not want that pad perch right there. Mena Lake, just outside of Mena, Arkansas. Hidden gem, guys. I probably will get in trouble for showing you this footage. We're gonna catch them today doing one of my favorite things, and that is catching them on a frog. Well, in this case, a perch. This is the pad perch. Fishing lily pads, you can't beat it. Let's get this fish back real quick. Let's talk a little bit about Mena Lake. There we go. Man, what an awesome blow up that was. See fish, there she goes. Man, what a fish that was. This is a place that a buddy of mine's been telling me about for quite some time. Mena Lake is on the western part of Arkansas, right on the border of Oklahoma. It's one of those places that just has a big population, or a nice population of big bass. And one of my favorite features that you don't find on many lakes down south anymore, and that's lily pads. And when it comes to the summertime and into the fall, there's not a more fun way to fish. Will you lose some fish? Sure. But golly, guys, when those fish come out there and they blow up on that frog, blow up on that perch, there's nothing that will ever beat it. But today we're gonna be talking about Mena Lake, but more importantly, we'll be talking about fishing lily pads, fishing this really thick vegetation, how you're supposed to fish that popping perch and pad perch to get maximum performance out of your bait and to help you land more fish the next time you're on the water. Because I'm telling you guys, this place has a variety of vegetation from, you have your water willow, your lily pads, you got pads that are above the water, below the water, depending on water depth. But we're gonna show you all that here on Mena Lake and more here in just a second. I'm gonna see if I can catch me another one. And, oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. It took me out of my shoe, guys. Oh my gosh. I wasn't ready. That's how frog fishing is, guys, is you just aren't always ready when them fish are gonna blow up on you. I wanna show you something when we get this fish in. Look at all this gunk we got with it. Let me tell you, when you're out here fishing in this really heavy cover, you gotta have good equipment. I can't stress it enough. Good line especially that you can trust. Had this fish been a 5 or 6, 7 pounder, this probably would have gotten the fish off. And that's just the reality of, I mean, just see how easy that came out right there. That's what happens when you are throwing that pad perch, is you have that, that tendency to lose fish from time to time, but not a bad fish. I mean, golly, guys, I wouldn't, I mean, I literally stepped out of my flip-flop because I wasn't ready for that strike. And that is what makes frog fishing one of the most fun things you can ever do. Let's get this fish back real quick and let's talk a little bit about it. There we go. All right, guys, real fast, I'm gonna talk to you about picking the right style of frog and the right color and why it is so important. So today I'm fishing a warmouth colored hack attack pad perch. Now this is designed for extremely heavy cover, but you know the deal is when we're out there fishing, it can be really confusing. This day and age, there's so many different styles of frogs, colors of frogs, and man, I'm telling you, even me sometimes I'm like, man, do I need that color, this color, or this color? But guys, let me keep it really, really basic for you. You basically need about 3 to 4 different style or colors of frogs. And today I'm using warmouth. This is bruised banana here, or rotten banana is actually the name of it, but it's still another bluegill style color. You want a bluegill style color, you want a white one, and you want a black one. If you get those 3 colors, you can basically get anything you need at any given time and catch the fish that you need to. Now, picking the right style, like I said before, that popping style, like the popping perch, is definitely my favorite open water frog. And now when I get in a situation where I'm in really heavy cover, the hack attack pad perch definitely fits the bill. But let me not tell you, I kind of tell you a little bit about this KVD frog here. This is a super soft body frog. This is the frog that I skip around trees, overhanging bushes, and things like that. I don't necessarily fish it around pads and other cover. It's a really, really soft body. So if I skip it way up under a dock or I skip it under a tree, more times than not, I don't have to set the hook nearly as hard because that soft body collapses and hooks them so terribly good. And it comes in a lot of different colors, a lot of the same colors that you're gonna find in the hack attack pad perch and the popping perch. But paying attention to color and what the fish are eating is extremely important. Another trick, and I'm gonna go and tell you, there's gonna be some hate comments on here, and that's okay. But have your hydrowave, turn your hydrowave on when you get in that shallow water and around those pads, around that shallow grass when you're throwing a frog, and you'll thank me later. That hydrowave, it activates those bait fish, but more importantly, when you get around the pads and you turn that hydrowave on, you're gonna start hearing those perch popping underneath the pads. And that is a big key on what color you need to throw and what style body you need to throw. And that's when I'm throwing either a warmouth color, like this one here, or a solid black. And honestly, I think they're interchangeable. I just throw warmouth because it's one of my favorite colors. Shout out to Todd Castledine, he's the one who hooked me up on that color. But let me tell you guys, frog fishing here in Arkansas, it's where it's at right now. I can't wait to get back, and I want to get back out there because they are starting to bite. And I know for a fact I'm probably gonna catch me a big one. All right, guys, today I want to talk to you about the 6 keys to frog fishing. And this is from experience. This is years and years of experience in and around shallow water fishing pads and matted grass. And I promise you, if you pay attention to these, it will help you the next time you're out there. So one of the very first things you got to have is a whisper quiet trolling motor, one that you can sneak in and around that really shallow cover and not make a lot of noise. I'm using the Motor Guide Tour Pro, and it's weedless. It makes it so much easier weaving in and around. The second key, power poles. I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, having power poles on your boat will make it easier to make a recast. And what I mean by that is when you catch one, the very first thing I do is drop my poles. What that does is it allows me to make that cast again, just in case there's another fish, and a lot of times there is. So it allows me to make that exact same cast that I caught the fish on previously. The third key is good braided line, 65-pound test. Guys, these fish, when they're eating a frog, cannot see your line. There's no reason to throw 30-pound, 40-pound braid. Go to 65, guarantee yourself getting that fish in the boat. I made a really big mistake today. I actually had a rod that had 30-pound braid on it, did not realize it, hooked a giant bass and it got off. And that was my mistake for not marking my line. But it is a key for you the next time you're out there. Make sure you check your line size before you go frog fishing. The fourth thing is have a good rod, 7.2 to 7.3. Today I was using the Frog rod by Greg Hackney, and you can't go wrong with that. It's a Signature Series rod by Luz, and it is a fantastic rod. Number 5, a high-speed gear ratio reel. You need something that's at least 7.5 to 1, if not 8.3 to 1. That makes a humongous difference catching up to those fish and getting them in. And last but not least, guys, number 6, and I can't stress it enough, is be patient on your hook set. Don't set the hook as soon as you see the fish blow up, because a lot of times, just like today, those fish will hit the pad and not the frog. You got to keep your eye on the frog at all times, and if you can't see it, wait until you feel pressure, then set the hook. If you set the hook too fast, what that fish is going to do is bury you in the pads and get off almost every single time, especially if it's a big one. Guys, I hope you learned a little bit about frog fishing, and I hope you can catch them just like I did today. Oh, I got him. I got him. Oh, it's a big one. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, I mean, he choked it. Oh, come on. Oh, boat flipping biggins, baby. Woo, check that out, guys. Mena Lake, nice largemouth bass. Changed up colors a little bit, and that was the ticket. Nice 4+ pound bass. Golly, what a freaking fish that is. Man, that is an awesome way to end the day. Let's get this fish back, and we'll talk just a second about what we had to do today to catch these nice Mena Lake bass.
You're welcome. It happened to the call.
No doubt. Man, what a dang blow up that was. I was actually on the phone with my wife, had to throw my phone down, and thank goodness it didn't fall in the water. But that's what frog fishing's all about. It's never when you expect the bite to happen. It's always unexpected, and that's what makes it so adrenaline rushing and so amazing. It's probably, it ranks up there as one of my favorite ways to catch a bass, but also one of the most stressful ways to catch a bass, because, I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys, today was really trying, and only because we had a chance at one of those epic frog days. And we always hear stories about it. You always have buddies, hey man, if I'd have just caught what I had bite, it'd have been a different story. And today was one of those days. I can't tell you how many big fish, when that pad perch would come across the top of a pad, it would engulf the pad and miss the frog, and therefore missing the fish getting in the boat. And that's just how it goes sometimes. And that's what makes it so much fun to get out here in Mena, Arkansas, and catching these nice bass. I'm telling you guys, I love frog fishing, but golly, I don't know if my heart does. I don't know if I can handle it. But we made a little change, and I want to talk about it real fast. Made a little change and went to a black with a chartreuse top pad perch. And the reason is it's starting to get a little bit lower light this afternoon, and it creates a little bit more shadow. So when you get in that shadow situation, you want to go to a little bit darker frog, and that will make a humongous difference whenever you're trying to catch those fish. And today was no different. We needed to make that change. We made the change, and we were able to catch some fish. Guys, I know today was a long and stressful day for me. It was a short one for you, but I am so glad that you were here. Make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about baits and everything else right after this. I came here with one thing in mind. I just wanted to catch them on a frog. I mean, that's just what I wanted to do. I hadn't got to fish pads in quite some time, and it showed a little bit. I lost a few fish today. But truly, you gotta have a confidence set up to catch them on a frog. In this case, I was using the pad perch. I used two different colors. I used warmouth and black and chartreuse. Both of these colors are big time pad perch colors for me. One imitates a bluegill, and the other I use in lower light situations, that black and chartreuse. And I really like that chartreuse top because I can see it and I know if those fish have actually eaten it or not. But guys, gear is so key. 7.5 to 1 gear ratio Pro TI by Luz. This is one of my favorite reels. It's so strong. And this is the Greg Hackney Signature Series 7'3" frog rod. And I've used this rod a ton in open water situations, skipping it around cover, hydrilla, pepper grass and things like that. But this is actually my first experience in the pads, and I'm gonna tell you, I was very impressed with it. That's the type of rod you want. This is one of those that it has quite a bit of tip, but a ton of backbone. With these big super lines, these no stretch lines like the Strike King Contra braid, you gotta have that little bit of tip that where it doesn't pull the bait out of the fish's mouth, and that was a huge key. But guys, overall, Mena Lake in the western part of Arkansas definitely showed out today, and it almost showed out even bigger. And maybe it will for you, so make sure you come check out Mena Lake. It's a really small lake just on the east side of Mena, Arkansas, and I promise you, you'll be glad you did.